P.'s Correspondence by Nathaniel Hawthorne. My poor friend P. has lost his life's thread to bouts of muddled reason. Past and present tangle in his mind, often yielding odd results, best grasped through his letter below rather than my explanation. Though he never leaves the small, whitewashed, iron-barred room he mentions, he's a grand traveller, meeting figures long vanished to all but his eyes. I see this less as delusion, and more as a mix of wilful and unwilling imagination, fueled by his illness into such vividness that he views these ghostly scenes and characters as clearly as a stage play. With a touch more belief, I hold many of his letters. Some like this, others no less absurd. They form a series I'd enjoy editing for the public if fate kindly frees him from his moonlit world. P. always craved literary fame, failing at it in reason's light. How strange if he stumbled onto it in his misty wanderings beyond sanity, lone down February 29, 1845. MYVRFD and old ties grip the mind with fierce strength. Daily habits build around us like stone walls, almost as solid as human works. I sometimes wonder if ideas aren't truly visible, tangible things with all matter's traits. Here I sit in my rented room, writing by the hearth under a print of Queen Victoria, hearing London's muffled roar, with a window 5 steps away showing the real city. Yet what odd thought plagues me? Believe it or not, I feel I'm still in that dreary little chamber, whitewashed, with one small, iron-barred window, where you've so often visited. Will no time or distance free me from that grim place? I travel, but like a snail, house on my back. I must be nearing that age when the present fades beside the past, leaving me memory's prisoner, hopping on her chain. My letters of introduction have opened doors to famed figures once as distant as Queen Anne's wits or Ben Jonson's tavern Pauls. First, I used one to Lord Byron. He looks older than I'd pictured. Fitting for a man near 60, given his wild youth and worn frame, though I'd cloaked him in poetic immortality. A curly brown wig spills over his brow, spectacles hide his eyes. Once prone to plumpness, he's now vastly fat, a burdened heap lacking vigour to animate his bulk. You stare, thinking, where's Byron in this mass? I could call it a symbol of vices clogging his spirit's paths, but that's too harsh. His morals have improved as his body ballooned. I wish he were leaner. His puffy hand, offered in greeting, felt alien, not the one that pen-chilled Harold. He apologized for not standing, citing gout in his right foot, swathed in flannel, propped on a cushion, his other lost in chair folds. Was it his right or left that was deformed? He and Lady Byron, reconciled for a decade, descend life's slope with tolerable ease, a quiet pair. Her influence has turned him pious, blending strict Methodism with Puseyite flair, the former from her, the latter his poetic bent. He funds church repairs, once a devil's name, now near saintly in pulpits. Politically he's a staunch conservative, railing against his old radical notions and others, sins with a dulled pen. He's tight with Southey. Before More's death, Byron evicted him, a blow some say hastened the poet's end, though others claim Moore died joyfully, singing a holy tune, hoping it'd win him paradise. I hope so. I praised Childe Harold Manfred and Don Juan, music of my life, with fervent words. They missed the mark. I sensed a blunder, annoyed at myself. Then the truth slipped out. Byron, he told me himself, is revising his works, purging bits I'd lauded as trash for oblivion, aligning them with his new taste, morals, and faith. His passions burned out, dimming the light that let him write and grasp his own poetry. He read me a sanitized Don Juan, all vice, irreverence, and gloom cut, replaced by tame lines. Little remains, it's a sad mess, stinking of lost fire. Yet this may earn his statue a spot in Westminster Abbey, denied his bones from Greece. Silly me, writing of burying Byron when I just saw him alive, encased in flesh. Fat men feel like hobgoblins. mortal yet ghostly. That old tale of his death at Missolonghi, 20 years past, crept in. We live among shadows. I can't bother sorting mind from matter. Luck struck. I met Robert Burns, 87, visiting London for a grand birthday festival, lured from his Ayrshire cottage after 20 years. I saw him at the British Museum, poring over unpublished letters and songs. What folly! How could he be biographed when he's hale? Tall, bent, white hair like snow, his face carved with intellect and passion's torrents. He's well preserved, chirping like a cricket, a lively quirk of age we'd shun for ourselves but bless in him. I didn't expect it in Burns, his fire's down to embers, flickering playfully. He can't touch pathos. Trying marry in heaven, he teared up, voice cracking, unsure why. He mustn't think of her till he sheds time's weight. Reciting Tam O'Shanter, he laughed, coughed, and stopped, a sight I'd rather skip. Still, his last 40 years of comfort and thrift, rare for a bard, are a fine prize. I asked Scots about Sir Walter Scott. For 10 years he's lingered a paralytic shell, body and mind dulled. At Abbotsford, his brain's grand echo, he dictates tales to no one, flashes of genius amid muddled plots and merged characters, like a rusted helm glinting in gloom. Good he forgot his fame before it forgot him. Today's world demands deeper truth than he could give. A young Dickens, full of humour and pathos, died too soon after starting Pickwick Papers. What a loss. In Pall Mall, I saw Napoleon Bonaparte, or what's left skin bones, hat, coat, breeches, sword, shuffling with 2 policemen guarding his honour's star. No one cared, even I couldn't muster awe for the faded conqueror, wrecked by disease, tropics, and age, over 70. Britain was wise to bring him from St. Helena. Paris should see him now, trembling at street noise, whining for help. The cop smirked, patted him, and led him off, fury. Who's this? Out, or I'll hurl my inkstand. No, a mistake. Sorry, friend. Mention of those cops stirred memory of that wretch who hounded me in New England. Suddenly, that whitewashed room with its iron window, oddly barred, loomed clearer than this cosy London flat, as if reality draped a tattered illusion. Enough of that. Shelley, you know, rejoined the Church of England years ago, defending it in later works. He's now ordained with a small living in London to publish sermons on Christianity's poetic proofs via the 39 articles. Meeting him, I struggled to blend praise for Queen Mab and Prometheus with his new role. He eased me, claiming his early poems ladder up to this faith. Each step vital, from chaos to heaven's edge. I nearly asked what if he'd died midway. No matter, he's climbed, and his mature verse, warmed by human love, outshines the cold brilliance of youth. He's as kind as ever, not drowned off Spezia. Nonsense. I met him yesterday. Dr. Heber, ex-Bishop of Calcutta, now here, visited Shelley. Old Paul's planning a poem. Life's a queer dream. Coleridge finished Christabel for Murray this season, but a tongue ailment may end him soon, unless he unloads his thoughts. Wordsworth died recently. May he not have finished the excursion. I tire of him, save Lodamia. Southey's hail, old Gifford clings on. Decayed, I glimpsed Keats across a busy street. Frail, fading like a thought in flesh, blood on his kerchief from that quarterly wound. He's no Titan, too weak for genius's load, yet he's crafting an epic on paradise regained, set in a future where man nears perfection, woman rises, and earth blooms, facing one last evil fight. It's tender and grand, they say, but he won't publish, doubting the age's spirit. I distrust such caution. The world awaits the best word, not stammers. Canning, now a peer, spoke dully in the Lords. Time blunts his kind. Cobbett, earthy as a clod, droned in the Commons. People seem half dead, graves on my mind. At Drury Lane old Keane played Hamlet's ghost, faded, a shadow of himself. In the box sat Mrs. Siddons, a regal ruin, with Kemble broken but kingly, and Matthews, his face warped by palsy into a grim jest. Actors should fade early. Painted echoes lose charm when colours dull and voices crack. What's new in American letters? I've seen only Channing's poems. Rich rough gold, but maybe too raw for your public. Our writers die young. Neal, Bryant Halleck, Whittier, Longfellow Willis. Gone, their promise snuffed. Fate spares the hopeless, like me, to mock the world. My brain hums with verses, bird-like grand, fit for those lost poets. They haunt me, seeking a scribe, but I'm too busy, and my doctor warns against ink. Let idle clerks take it. Goodbye, a leave. Still scribbling for the Democratic. Those cursed printers mangle you yet. I'll be home soon with Campbell, old and pale, to see his Wyoming laurels. My respects to Brockden Brown, his works shine here. Is Barlow still alive, plotting a steam-driven epic on Mexico and Texas? Tell him to lighten his load, your true friend, P.